Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to Shifting Lanes 2. My name's Chad, and today we're taking a trip down memory lane. We're gonna watch a video today that is our first project car video, our first project car that pretty much launched Shifting Lanes into what you know and love today. As you know, we're pretty big on Volvo here, and our first car was a Volvo V70R. These cars are amazing, they're sleepers, nobody really expects them, they're subdued and yet sound epic. There's so much about these cars to love, and it was our first project car. A lot of you know Greg's Blurple V70R, 500 horsepower, all the mods you could possibly think of. However, our first V70R was a little bit different. So stick around, I think you're really gonna like this video, guys, and when you do, smash that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe with notifications on. That way you get all the Shifting Lanes 2 content as we release it.
I figured it would be really cool today, because Shifting Lanes, believe it or not, it's been around for a while. It doesn't feel like it. It feels, you know, like pretty much yesterday we were just, let's start a website. Let's see about this whole YouTube thing. Let's do this. And now all of a sudden, you know, I have two cars. You have a car. Greg's got two.
How many cars does he have now?
Well, as far as the channel is concerned, it's the Polestar and the 240. But
240.
You know, he's gone through more cars than we have, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah,
because I mean,
he's cycled through a lot of them.
I get bored very easily, but God bless him. So. But I figured it'd be cool to go down a trip, take a trip down memory lane, and look at our first ever project car YouTube video, or any project car video for that matter, and just take a look, figure out the car, because this car will make an appearance later, but I just figure we'll take a look at it. And we start with the first frame, and Greg, we miss you, buddy. We'll see you next week. But that is a very unflattering first frame of the video. But
is there any frame that's flattering? I mean, he's not here to defend himself.
Yeah, but I mean, at least he has hair. I mean, that's how long ago this was.
Yeah. Wow, time flies.
Yeah. Imagine that.
So does hair, apparently.
Yeah. Got to get them keeps up. But so
here you go.
Let's give it a start.
What's
up, guys?
Thanks for tuning in. My name is Gregson, and welcome to Ship.
Are we gonna get audio on this?
I'm very excited to tell you that we are finally.
That's.
You should be getting it through.
Well, let's just play it, and let's keep on going, and just we'll because we're gonna see the car very shortly. He's somewhere in New Jersey right now, in like some random ass park.
People just looking at
everyone's like, what is he doing? And I think he started off wanting to say about tuning up his Subaru WRX, which was a really cool car.
And what a project car!
But no, he ended up getting this one. I think he got it for like
2004. Volvo V70R.
I want to say
now, the nice thing
$4,000. Was
it is an R.
I think it
which
was
in
Volvo
39
It was less than
usually
4
known as R design or
which
R.
to think about it in today's terms is kind of crazy, because I mean this car is just I don't know, somewhere around like 10K now for like a working example.
I mean, it's another example of just how crazy the market's going, and how enthusiasts are starting to discover these cars and the kind of platform it is and things like that. But everything's skyrocketing. I've heard some people blame us for the reason why Volvos are so much more expensive now. Sorry. You know,
but these things are going crazy on my trailer, and of course you have to get good examples, of course. But this was a fantastic car. This one was an automatic, and I don't remember how many miles it had, but I do remember driving it around, and I think the brakes was like one of the first things that we changed. I think the pads were like toast.
Yeah, you and I did the brakes in my shop at work. This was an automatic. It was actually, apart from the front bumper, much better than the manual we ended up getting to replace this. It was, I mean, I can't, we were talking about manual swapping this thing at one point. But here's the crazy thing about this video. If you play this video and then go to the Polestar video, it's almost the same type of thing. It just goes to show you that if it ain't broke at first, this is one of our most viewed videos. It has over 340,000 videos on it, which doesn't sound like a lot to some, but to us, that's huge. And we saw that, and we're like, well, we all got to buy Volvos, and all of which we'll touch on a little bit later. But this is
and when we got this, we were like, hey, we wanted to find a really cool car that is like, 300 horsepower, and for some odd reason we just like wagons, and Greg loves wagons, and we were like, yeah, this is an awesome car. And lo and behold, like, we didn't realize that there was such a strong community behind the Volvo brand, and this car especially, just because of how unique this thing was. When it first came out, it's like Volvo's known for these really safe cars, boring commuter cars, and then one day they just came out with the R version, and they stuffed a really powerful motor in there, and the rest is history.
Yeah, it's nuts, because and the craziest thing about it is that as everybody knows, these motors, they were strong, 300 plus horsepower, 300 torque, downpipe tune, you're nudging 350, 400 pretty easily and stuff. And the noise from the gods. I talked about this on stream with chat last night. Apart from Porsche, I can't think of anything that's a sub V8 up that isn't a straight six that sounds better. The Porsche
that isn't a straight six. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say there's a bunch of straight sixes that sound really good. Yeah, I hear you.
It's it sounds better than a K motor from a Honda. It sounds better than any other any boxer engine from Subaru by a significant margin. It just the note these things have is just incredible, and it was one of the biggest disappointments I had with the C30. I was like, ooh, 2.5 liter 5-cylinder. This one I didn't know anything or know any better. 2.5 liter. Oh, it's going to sound like Greg's car. This is going to be epic. I can't wait. And then it didn't, and I was like, wait a minute. So they had at some point 2 different 5-cylinders. But it's just this thing. Yep. And there's Greg's baby. He went back to that. God bless him. Too many S60Rs, Rick. They're selling pretty good right now.
Yeah, it's incredible. I had a Volvo S60R, and that was the reason for that has got a lot to do with the fact that we had a V70R, and there was a lot of interest in the wagon, and we were like, hey, there's this other thing, the S60R, which is basically the sedan version of it. And, at the time I was autocrossing a lot, and I was like, let's make this into an autocross car, and let's see how we could go. And,
I think
it was not a great autocross car.
Yeah, I mentioned that that you wanted to autocross it, which was an amazing idea, but because it's all-wheel drive and the displacement and the turbo, I think you were punching in the same classes like Caymans and Boxsters and things like that.
Yeah, it was a tough class. The fact that it was making 300 horsepower and it had all-wheel drive, it was putting it in the class with Subaru STIs, Evos, and I think 350Zs was in the same class. And I'm like, holy crap, this is and with autocross, it's the more modifications you put into it to try and beat those cars, well, those modifications are also going to put you in a different class, and it's most likely going to be a tougher class. So you're picking the right car is almost the first important step. And the Volvo S60R was not the right car.
Well, the funny thing about that is it's a lot like I don't know how much of Gran Turismo 6 you played, but
Not very much.
If you raced online, that you could set it by performance points. So like they rated power, suspension mods, all this stuff, and they put a performance point number on it, right? And you could not exceed it. But it was the same basic concept. If you started with the wrong car, you could get to that, but you'd be dusted by these other cars that were better for that 550 point class, so to speak. So it's
Right.
kind of interesting. I don't know if that's how they assess the class, if they have a behind the scenes point system or something like that. But it's kind of cool to see that like real world versus the digital
Yeah.
world kind of having a similar, I'm similar kind of ways about going
Right.
about things. And
Similar system.
yeah.
And it's really how they determine that, I think, is like by trial. It's like from year to year looking at the data, because you won't really know like the first year like what's really the best car. You kind of get that data after the first year, like that new car has come out. So, but in terms of like making modifications, it's like you have your street class, and you have, and I might be butchering it right now, but you have like your prep class, and you have like your bolt-on class. So like exhaust, intake, and headers. That puts you in a certain like bolt-on class. Once you start tuning your car, that puts you like almost all the way to the top, to the most extreme class. So that just like shows you that if you want to tune your car, you better have spent a lot of other money on the car, because that also opens you up to like aero modifications and all those things. So yeah, autocross, there's a really cool community behind that. There's a lot of there's just like so many other possibilities, and like so many different ways that you could go into that. That's another rabbit hole, basically. But yeah, love that community. And when I showed up with the S60R, they were like, "You brought the wrong car, man." So
Yeah.
I was the only S60R there.
Looks like Greg put sunglasses on for the outro on this one. But here's the thing with this car. I think we actually did put an exhaust on it until it got transitioned to the manual car. But this was it. This was Genesis. And it's crazy I never thought as a kid growing up that Volvo would be the way to make car content. Like, I never, in a million years, Volvo wasn't even on my radar. And lo and behold, this car launched us. Like, it was a $3,900 car that was a godsend to us. Like, I would have never gotten the C30. I would have never met all that stuff and things I'll touch on. But like, this is a just an amazing. It's amazing how life works out. Like, never thought I'd be on camera, YouTuber, live streaming, talking with people like Rick, who has 4 S60Rs from 04.
That's too many S60Rs.
My man's hoarding over there. If you need one, I guess reach out to Rick, because he has what appears to be a surplus, unless he's just using 4 to make one. I don't know. But it's crazy to think Volvo, man. Like, no shot. Never really thought of Volvo. Like, it's crazy because growing up, this corner of the street I grew up on was a Volvo mechanic, and I was like, oh, those are some cars, I guess, and things. But it's crazy to think about this, man. Like, the way life works just brings you down, brings you to different spots.
Yeah, absolutely.